Hi, everybody. Dan Oman, Mike Beer. We're in a celebratory mood here at DRF because last week we exceeded 20,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. I want to thank our producers, Chloe and Lucia, for their excellent work, all the great handicappers and analysts that contribute to the DRF YouTube channel. And of course, I want to thank all of you who allow us into your homes and on your phones to watch the DRF analysis and let us talk racing with you. And if you haven't subscribed just yet, please do so, because join the party. We've got cupcakes, 20K, DRF. Mike, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it certainly is. I got a cupcake too, in case you were wondering. I got one. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for subscribing, Dan. I gotta feel like most people probably join in because of you, Dan. You're a true professional. I'm happy to be working with you, and I'm happy people tune in.
Mike, you're very honest, and that's why you're a great handicapper, because you can spot talent. That's why he's the best analyst in the business. Thank you very much. 20,000 subscribers. Here's to 20K more.
Everybody, Mike Beer here with the DRF race of the day for Sunday, April 16th. The race of the day will be at Keeneland. Race number 8 on Sunday afternoon is the Grade 2 Beaumont Stakes. It's for 3-year-old fillies. They're going to go about 7 furlongs on the main track. We have a field of 7 3-year-old fillies entered. They're going to go for a $400,000 purse. Here's your field for that Beaumont Stakes on Sunday afternoon. You can see 7 3-year-old fillies entered for this race. Scan or click on that QR code that you see on your screen right now and get free access to the race of the day on your mobile device. This is a race where I feel like you sort of have a horse who is probably going to wind up being a clear-cut favorite in here, and a clear-cut horse to be drawn on the far outside here. Number 7, Key of Life. She goes out for trainer Brad Cox. Flavian Pratt will have the mount in this race. Key of Life is 4 for 7 in her career. She's a multiple stakes winner sprinting on the dirt. She is 2 for 2 over this Keeneland dirt course so far in her career, including a win in the Myrtlewood Stakes here last October. That was a really impressive performance from her. And she's just coming into this race off of a 91 Beyer speed figure, winning her most recent start at Oaklawn Park. That 91 speed figure makes her several lengths faster than any of the other 6 fillies that are entered in this Beaumont Stakes on Sunday. And if you go back to the 2 wins that she posted, 2 of the wins that she posted as a 2-year-old last year here at Keeneland, Beyers of 86 and 85, those are the second and third fastest figures in this field. So she's got all the fast races on the way into this thing. She's drawn perfectly on the outside with speed, and she's just the clear horse to beat in this race. I guess the one sort of drawback to her, at least so far in her career, is that she has never been this 7 furlong distance in her career. So we'll see if that poses some kind of an impediment for her. They did go 6.5 with her once last year at Churchill, and she wound up losing at 2 to 5 that day. I don't think the distance had anything to do with that, but obviously we'll see. She is a horse who likes to be on the lead. Maybe the lead will be denied her in this race, and maybe that will make a difference. She's clearly the horse to beat. Let's take a look at that Timeform US pace projector, though, to see what they think about the pace. And they do think that Key of Life is the fastest filly in this field, and they think she will be on a clear lead at the pace call. I think that's pretty hard to argue with when you watch her races. She's really fast early. She likes to be forward in her races, and I assume that Pratt is just going to sort of let her roll from the outside post. Somebody could come out of there running to her inside, and maybe that will make her job a little bit tougher. If you look at the that pace projector there, they think that the horse that could go with her early is the number 2. She's on the Rocks, and that's certainly possible. She's on the Rocks is a real question mark in this race. She has shown a little bit of speed in her first 2 career starts. Those 2 races are both on the all-weather surface at Turfway Park. Who knows how fast she's going to be on dirt. I thought the most likely horse to try to deny the lead to the favorite in this race is the number 3, Stonewall Star, a filly who has been on the lead in each of her last 4 starts. 3 of those are wins. They're all stakes wins, and she has a stakes win going 7 furlongs in her most recent start. So I suspect she'll show speed. She's been on the lead in most of her races. They're not particularly fast pace races, but that's her running style. I think they're going to go in here. We'll see if she's fast enough to deny the favorite Key of Life the lead in this race. Let's start to take a look at some of these contenders really quickly, because we do have a pretty heavy favorite in this race. The number 1 is Shoplifter. Eddie Keneally is the trainer here. And this is a filly who has some things to recommend her anyway. I mean, she started out sprinting. She did win her second career start going 5.5 furlongs Pretty solid time there, 68 Beyer speed figure. She was a clear-cut winner at the end. Her start right out of that race came going 7 furlongs at Ellis Park in the debutante. Made up a little bit of late ground in that race to finish 5th without really threatening. And then after that, they stretched her out for her final 2 starts. The Pocahontas, where she finished a pretty good second to a filly who's back in this race. Then they ran her in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and she was nowhere at the end of that race. She's second off the layoff here. Got in a little prep race and an allowance race at Fairgrounds last time. It didn't come back that fast. She was never a real factor in that race. You got to look at it in the stretch. Flattened out a little bit at the end. Maybe she just needed it. She has to improve a lot, though, against this field. The number 2, She's on the Rocks. We'll see how much speed she brings here. Again, both of her starts so far on the all-weather at Turfway. Got the maiden win last time and really ran a nice race that day to win clear at the end. Earned a solid 80 Beyer speed figure. This is a pretty big ask for this filly to step right up off of a maiden win and face some accomplished and really fast fillies to her outside. Maybe they'll try to use her speed in here. I didn't think she was fast enough to make the early lead. Although she did run pretty well last time, close to a fast pace. Stonewall Star's the 3. Again, on the lead in each of her last 4 starts. 3 of those are stakes victories. The Key Sense against New York Breds in November. She came back and won the Franklin Square against New York Breds, going 6.5 at the end of January. And then she came back with this performance that we'll look at right now. At Laurel last time in the Wide Country Stakes. And she just got right to the top in this race. Never, as you see in the stretch here, she's already on a clear lead. Never really faced any kind of a serious challenge in this race. And she just runs up the score on this field as not even the favorite in here at a relatively short price, but she was not favored in here. A dominant victory. That's 2 wins in a row where she was open lengths in front of her rivals at the wire. She did make an easy lead in both of those races. That's probably not going to be the case here, but she's getting better with every start. She obviously has a little bit of ability. You don't have to really worry about the 7 furlongs. For the question is what happens if she is denied the lead in this race, and that feels like it's a real possibility. She's in good form right now. Interpolate is up next to number 4, Chad Brown, Klarovich Stables. Irad Ortiz is going to take the mount for this race. This horse has an awful lot of potential, actually. Won her second career start. She debuted at Saratoga in a really fast race last summer, a 92 Beyer for the winner there, Chocolate Gelato. And this filly showed a little bit of speed after not breaking that well from the gate and just had no chance with Chocolate Gelato in there. Got a little bit tired, finished far back and forth, but that wasn't a poor performance at all. She got a little time after that, came back, broke her maiden very nicely in her next start. They took her to Parks in early January to try a stakes race on a sloppy track going 7. She wound up fading to 4th that day. She had real trouble early in that race, though, and actually ran a lot better than it looks. They came back in early February with this performance right here. The Ruthless. She goes off at nearly 5-1 in this race. Steadies a little bit behind horses in the early going here. It looked like Eric Cancel, who was riding that, they wanted to get her to the outside. So she steadied a bit, but then she got to the outside. This is a good performance here. She moved up strongly after the leaders on her own around the turn, came 3 wide to the stretch, taking over, just drove clear in this race. I liked this performance, a 77 Beyer. It was another step in the right direction for her. She's had a little bit of time off since then. There's a real chance that she could just take a pretty big step forward in this race. She's very tactical. So if somebody goes with the favorite Key of Life early in this race and sort of makes her race a little bit, Interpolate's going to be in a pretty good position, I think, in this race. And she finishes in her races. So I think she's a very dangerous horse for the shorter prices to have to deal with in this race. Fun and Feisty is the 5. I think this horse is a little interesting, too, if you're sort of shopping around for a price. If for no other reason, I think they're finally cutting her back in distance. And I realize that she's a grade 3 winner around 2 turns as a 2-year-old. But I feel like there's a chance that she just might be a little bit better going shorter. And I understand why they stretched her out. That was right off of a maiden win in that Pocahontas going a mile and a 16th last September. She got the job done there. It was a good performance, I thought, but I liked her first couple of starts sprinting, including that maiden win where she upped her game to a 71 Beyer. After the Pocahontas, it was the grade 1 Alcibiades where she was really no factor. The Rags to Riches over a sloppy track where she was sort of a distant third but never looked like she was going to win behind Hoosier Philly. And then they came back off the layoff last month at Turfway Park and they ran her on the all-weather surface and she just didn't really do anything. She got outrun early in that race and just was never a real factor. I think they were prepping. I like that they come back to dirt for this. I like that they cut her back a distance for this. And there's a chance that she catches some pace to run at. The favorite I feel like is going to be hard to beat in this race. But if I was going to take a shot against her, it would probably be perhaps with Fun and Feisty at a price. Opus 42 is the number 6. She's a stakes winner over this distance at Tampa Bay in mid-January. That was a race where she kept right up close to the pace and narrowly prevailed with a 75 Beyer. It was also her only career start with Lasix. After that, they stretched her out in her most recent start in the Suncoast. She was close to the pace and got tired. Probably doesn't really want to go that far. Has obviously a nice running style for this race. It feels like she can sort of sit somewhere off the pace and try to make a run. She also has to improve if she's going to beat this field. Arnaud Delacour, very good trainer, is going to put blinkers on for the Beaumont Stakes here. The favorite on the outside and the horse to beat, Key of Life, is number 7 in this race. Again, maybe it's just all about distance here, and the 7 furlongs will be something that maybe she just doesn't want. But she comes into this race with all the fast figures. She's 2 for 2 over this dirt course in her career. She did win that allowance race here in early October last year. Without the lead, she had good speed in that race to get forward, but a rival came up to her inside and wanted it, so she just sort of let that horse have it and sat off her. But when it was time to go, she won that race very easily. I liked her winning the Myrtle Wood last year. Off the layoff earlier this year in February, she caught a sloppy track. She did a lot of chasing in there and got tired at the end. She did very gamely, I thought, fight her way to a short lead in the stretch. She got tired at the end. A couple of closers came and got her, but she came back on a fast track in her most recent start with this performance here. This is the Purple Martin that we'll look at right now, and she just wins this race as easy as you want to see a horse win it. She had the best speed early. She went straight to the lead in here, and she was just traveling strongly throughout the running here. The 2 favorites that are going to wind up 2nd and 3rd in here just chased her all the way, and Key of Life gave them no chance to get into this thing. She just keeps clear through the stretch. She is much the best at the end. Again, it's a 91 Beyer speed figure. It makes her several lengths faster than the filly she's going to be facing on Sunday in the race of the day, and she's just way the horse to beat in here. I think she's going to be pretty tough in here. I do think there are a couple of other interesting alternatives in this race, particularly the 4 Interpolate and the 5 Fun and Feisty. I think those are the 2 sort of price options that maybe you wanted to look to if you want to try to beat the favorite, or maybe they're the 2 horses just to use underneath. Put the picks up there now for the Sunday race of the day, and I'm going to go with the favorite here. I didn't really want to chalk it out with Key of Life, but I really do like all of her races. I think this is a great spot for her. Again, the 4 and the 5 would be my 2 other horses here. I went 7, 4, 5, 3 in the Sunday race of the day. It's the Grade 2 Beaumont Stakes for 3-year-old fillies at Keeneland, race number 8. The approximate post time will be 4:44 Eastern time. Good luck.